Sometimes you return to a place not because you want to, but because something inside you has already gone there. I found myself back in my hometown, the city where I was born, the city where I learned the streets by memory, the city I left behind many years ago. And yet I wasn't inside it. I stood before it as if waiting for permission to enter. Between me and the city there was a wide park. It stretched across the top of a hill, quiet and still, as if I had always been there. I knew it was wrong. There has never been a hill here, never a park this large, never this much open space, but nothing about it felt unfamiliar. It felt remembered. The trees stood bare, their branches thin and fragile against the pale sky. Most of them had already lost everything they were meant to lose. Only a few yellow leaves remained, clinging gently, as if unsure whether it was time to let go. The air was cool, not cold, just enough to notice it. Under my feet the grass was green, bright, alive, too alive. That kind of green didn't belong here, not in this city, not in this season. I noticed it, but I didn't question it. I rarely question things in places like this. I threw about going home. The idea felt simple, natural, as if all I had to do was walk forward and everything would return to normal. But when I stepped closer to the edge of the park, I finally saw the water. The city was flooded. At first, I thought I was mistaken, that my eyes needed time to adjust. But the longer I looked, the clearer it became. Dark water filled the streets below. Slow waves moved between buildings, brushing against walls, touching windows. The water reached the base of the hill, lapping gently, as if it had always been there, as if it belonged. But this city is far from the sea. I know that. I have always known that. There are no oceans here, no rivers wide enough to do this. It didn't make sense, and yet it wasn't shocking. It felt accepted. A woman stood nearby. I hadn't noticed when she arrived. She was simply there, looking toward the city, just like I was. I asked her what had happened. My voice sounded distant, even for me. She turned her head slightly, just enough to acknowledge me. She said she was from somewhere else. Not here, not this city. She said she didn't know what had happened. She didn't know why the city was underwater. Her voice was calm, flat, almost gentle. There was no concern in it. I wanted to ask more, but the moment passed. Around us, people continued to move. Someone walked by with a dog. The dog's paws made no sound on the grass. Someone else passed us, talking softly as if it were an ordinary evening. No one stopped, no one stared, no one looked down on the water. It was as if the city below no longer existed for them. I stood there for a while, watching the slow movement of the waves. The water didn't look violent. It didn't look destructive. It looked patient. I tried to remember what street my house was on, what direction it would be from here. The memory felt far away, blurry around the edges. I don't know when night arrived. There was no sunset, no gradual fading. Darkness came suddenly, as if someone had reached out and turned everything off at once. The park grew quiet. The city below disappeared. Water, buildings, streets, all swallowed by blackness. For a moment there was nothing, and then, slowly, light began to appear. One window, then another, soft, warm glow beneath the surface. They came on gently, as if it timed, as if expected. Someone nearby spoke. The power is back. There was relief in their voice, a sense of closure. But only some of the windows were lit, only the ones closest to the hill, only the one nearest to us. Farther away, the darkness remained unchanged. I searched for the part of the city where my home should have been. I looked carefully. I waited for a familiar shape, a familiar pattern of light. But there was nothing. No windows, no glow, only the dark. It felt intentional, as if the light had stopped just short of where I needed it. The waves below continued to move, quiet and steady. The park remained peaceful. No alarms, no sirens, just people standing, walking. existing. I wondered how long the city has been like this. Hours, years, maybe longer. I wondered if the lights had ever reached my street. I wondered if they ever would. The woman beside me didn't move. None of us did. It felt like waiting to, I wasn't sure for what. The darkness felt familiar, not frightening, just final. And somewhere deep inside, I knew, even if the lights returned everywhere else, even if the water disappeared, even if the city rose again, that part of it would remain this way, unlit, quiet, still there.